We live on the YouTube. We live on Facebook. So here you go, family. Here you go.
Yes, I'm gonna wear it.
Eyes are open. What's up, CeeLo? We up live. We're about to have a conversation. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. We got 3 people in the house already. Hey, somebody gonna throw up some stuff so I know who out there. Shouts out to Miss Heather. Lines are open, 614-556-4535. Lines are open.
Hey! What a day. Shouts out to all those Daily Toasters that are tuning in. Shouts out to the rest of the fam. We are here live. We are live. We made it on time. Right? We made it on time. So, you know, all those hard, struggling meetings, all the way working up, all the way up to where we are right now have paid off because I was able to get in there and get out so that I could get here to do the show on time. And I am grateful for the team that I have been blessed with. Gye-Nyame Journey, we laying it down. Taiwi Village, we laying it down. We building. We still got some personal work to do, but we building, family. Listen, I wasn't able to do the figures before I got on, but we are over 85% to where we need to be. 85% to where we need to be. for us to have a successful festival. Let me say that again. Let me do the math in my head. 9 times 3. 9 goes into...
What is it?
9 times 27, 18, 28. My fault. We are over 90% there. So that means, family, we got this final push. So you know that you're going to be getting a text. I'm sorry, but I got to send out the text because I want to be able to show that we are able to do our own thing. We are over 90%. This means that people have been responding and they are excited about this Malcolm X Festival that's coming on. Because you know how I know? Because it's funded by the people. For the people, by the people. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. Anybody old enough to remember that? Right? We put it together. And as of May 19th, 2018, we will be having another successful Malcolm X Festival. We still looking for vendors. Right? We're still looking for vendors. But there's going to be vendors there because I got vendors signed up. Yes, we do. We got the acts lined up. Yes, we do. We got somewhere around between 10 and 15 young people acts that's going to come out to entertain you and to demonstrate their skills. We have a speaker in the house. Yes, we do. We got the EE circle. That's the Emotional Emancipation Circles jumping off at this event. Family, it's going down. Be in the place from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. We will be rocking the house. We will be rocking the yard. I want y'all to come out because what I need y'all to see is I need y'all to see the possibilities of what we have. I want y'all to understand. See, because at this space, at the community school, it's true, a community school in every sense of the word. At the community schools, we have enough space. We have as much space as they had when we used to do Juneteenth. Which means that next year, and I want y'all to think about this, next year, we can throw a Juneteenth. We can have over 200 vendors there. We can have food vendors. We can bring in acts from different places. We can just really grow this thing into something that is not just a financial drain on the community, but as a cultural stabilizer in the sense that people that participate will be able to benefit spiritually, economically, socially. We are on the verge of something big, family, right? So I'm sending shots out. I'm toasting each and every last one of y'all that took the time to give. I'm toasting each and every last one of you that took the time. Would you move? It's real life here, Gye-Nyame, and somebody about to get beat. It's about to go down. It's about to go down. You're doing too much. Woo! It's real life here, Gye-Nyame. I almost had a Facebook moment. I'm trying to get them together, family. I'm trying to get them together. Shouts out to whoever who joined us on Facebook. All right. So, y'all know this is the Daily Toast. But first, before we get into that, I'm going to be doing pre-orders. I'm going to set it up. For those that want to be supporters of the show, I have the Daily Toaster shirt. Check it out. Check it out. I'm going to be putting it up on the site. I'm scared to say what the price is because the price I paid for this, right? Right? But I'm supporting a black business. Y'all see it? The Daily Toaster. Hashtag Daily Toaster. Then on the back. Then on the back. Excuse me. And then on the back, we have hashtag Daily Toast is where we gather daily to remember those upon whose shoulders we directly stand. Right? That's a t-shirt that's going to come. But also along with the t-shirt, to balance it out, I just got a sample package for you. You also going to receive an actual copy of 7 Sticks. I haven't even started selling this yet. Right? Book of stories, folk tales that I put together.
This call is being
constructed in a way to help you and your children, right?
learn some of our stories, and to demonstrate how to use them. Each one is applied to a principle, right? 7 sticks. I ain't going to give it up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read the back. Tradition must change, and you must be the agent to prosper in life. This is a tale of a mysterious old man who has called his 7 children together to decide which of them will inherit his fortune when he dies. He challenges them to demonstrate their worthiness by sharing the wisdom they gained from the tales he shared with them when they were children. Which of the 7 will earn the old man's fortune and ultimately learn the secret of his success? Each one of his children is named after a principle, and each one is going to tell the tale that affected them as the principle, right? And when I say 7 principles, I mean the Nguzo Saba, but of course in this book, because I put it so that those that don't speak the language can understand, we use the M7: unity, self-determination, respect, gratitude, purpose, creativity, and trust, right? Same, Moja Kuja Chaglio Jim Jamania Kumana, just change the language. And then also I'm gonna be accompanying it with, y'all see I'm digging through the box, right? Because I gotta send the first order is going out. I'm waiting for the t-shirt right now. It's Poetry is My Religion. This is another one of my books, right? Poetry is my religion, right? I wrote this years ago. Poets are the vanguards of the revolution. That's on the back. Let me read the back. Thank you for picking this book. Hopefully you will find some poetry that will touch your soul and move you to write your own thoughts down. This book was therapy for me. It shows the many ups and downs of my journey towards self-mastery, which is an ongoing process. I use poetry to help me grow and make it through the pains. Now I'm sharing my work, and I pray that it helps you. Feel free to join the journey. And, you know, that's an old site. I ain't changed it. It's old. So, hey, but poetry is good. Let me give you a sample. I'm going to give you a sample out the book. But we have been joined on the line. I think this is Miss Tiandra on the line. How are you doing, Miss Tiandra?
Doing well, thank you.
Did you just listening in? I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Are you just listening in, or you want? Are you gonna join the conversation?
I'll probably be listening.
Okay.
Not that I can't talk and drive, but I'm just listening.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna share a piece out of the book. I've been sharing a little bit lately because I found the book and I remembered that I had it, and I haven't. I put this on the shelf. And it's been sitting around for a long time. I forgot that I actually had this book. But I'm gonna read one of my poems. And one of the reasons I started the toast is because I have a love affair with death. I know I'm gonna spook some of y'all out, but here it go. This is one called Love Affair with Death. I have a love affair with death, and she visits me. She visits my bed nightly. I embrace her and accept her love without question. She says she loves me because I truly live life. I first met her on the street in the hood where I lay fearing her approach, choking on my own blood, and she embraced me. Conquering my fear, I embraced her back, and she whispered in my ear, "Now is not your time to come with me." As she tried to leave, I held her tight, not believing how beautiful she was. Like many of you, I thought death was a hideous being devouring life, but she is not like that at all. I asked her not to leave, and she promised to return. I have a love affair with death, and she visits my bed nightly. She sings me songs of long-forgotten people and tells me about the universe and the mysteries of time. I know it sounds strange, but I am in love with death, and she loves me back. She whispers to me in old dead languages to turn me on. She calls me a child of the womb, and as she sips on ambrosia. Sometimes let me take a sip. Her body is unbelievable, and I often see sparks as she kisses me with her full lips. Her complexion is brown like the earth, but her skin shines like well-polished gold. I thought her touch would be cold, but it is hot like metal sitting in the sun. When she embraces me, I melt in her arms like ice. She rocks me to sleep, and when I awaken, she is gone. Like I said, I have a love affair with death, and she visits my bed nightly. Sometimes she comes to me depressed because the world loathes her. She tells me that she is misunderstood, and it pains her that people curse and accuse her of crimes she doesn't commit. She says that she has never taken anyone's life. They give it to her. They surrender to her embrace, and most are happy to see her when she arrives. She say that we children of the womb don't understand her, but there is no life without her. And if she quits, the universe will stop. But I encourage her and tell her she's doing a great job. I even tell her that if she wants to, she can take me now. She giggles and says, "It's not your time yet, baby." I promised her I would sing her praise to the world and tell the world how I love her. I asked her if there was anything in particular she wants me to tell the world. She said, "Tell them to live life fully and enjoy, and be grateful for all that they have and do. Like I said, I have a love affair with death, and she visits my bed nightly. She sometimes appears on the left side of my bed, and I embrace and pull her close. She whispers tales of history and tells me stories of her past lovers. She reminds me constantly that she loves me because I live life, and she rejoices in my victories as if they were her own. She promises that on my last day, she will allow me to dance and sing the tales of my life, and she will wait for me to finish, no matter how long it takes, before she gives me my final release. And in that moment, and in that supreme moment, I will truly be united with her, my love. I can proudly say that I have a love affair with death, and she comforts me in my bed nightly." That's called a love affair with death, and you get that with the shirt. Now that's one of many. That's one of many, family. So like I said, I'm gonna put the package up, and for those that want to pre-order, you can pre-order them. It's gonna take me time to get the shirts. It shouldn't take too long because you got like a day or two turnaround. I'm just being patient because I'm trying to support black business. But now it's time for us to get into the tribal quotes of the day. Now, family, we move into another level in the second year of us doing this. So now, these proverbs are going to be the proverbs for the week until we come back together next Ujima. All right? Next Ujima. And just like with the folktale on Kukuji Chagalia, that's the folktale for the week. So that when I finally finish this calendar for the Nguzo Saba challenge, you already have the proverbs that we're going to cover in the weeks that you are on the challenge. Now, we'll talk about the challenge a little bit later, but we'll probably do that on the morning show, on Daily Toast, because those are more likely the people that will be interested in that. All right, so now, let me give you some more water, and we're about to get into these proverbs, because I ain't going to hold y'all late tonight. I'm just appreciating the fact that y'all showed up. Oh. But hey, I forgot to let y'all know, you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I am the host, Brother Hot Tim, and you are now listening to Tribal Quotes, and this is a Heart of a Simba production. Go ahead and tell them, Sasha.
When we strive to build your own paradigms.
I'm not going to be repeating myself. It's real life here at Gye-Nyame. All right, we are on day 28. Day 28. In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. That's from Bill Cosby. Oh, God. Bill. Damn. All right. Next one. All growth is a leap in the dark. A spontaneous, unpremeditated act without benefit of experience. That's from a guy by the name of Henry Miller. I like that, so I put it in the book. And this one right here is excess of familiarity is at the root of all hostility. That's from Algeria. All right, family, here we go. So somebody on the chat line, on any one of them, I got Spreaker up, I got YouTube up, I got Facebook up. The first one to throw up a number, that'll between 1 and 3. Between 1 and 3. That'll be the first one we cover. So go ahead. I'll give y'all some music to go on make y'all decision. Let's go on and go to the track. I play the commercial. Uh-oh. Dennis Raleigh is in the house.
I am a Gye-Nyame man. I was born for greatness. My greatness comes from my pledged center. I pledge to find and connect with my center. I pledge to heal my spirit, mind, and body. I pledge to use my hands to build a better world for myself, my loved ones, and my community. I pledge to use my mind to think deeper, further, and higher to create a better reality for myself. I pledge to live my life and go beyond all my self-imposed limitations. I pledge to promote the principles of the Gye-Nyame Warrior to assist all those seeking the path of success. I pledge all these things first to myself, to teachers, to all my relations, and to my higher power. I am Gye-Nyame. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. That is the Gye-Nyame pledge that is said by all of our true members at least once a day. Peace and welcome to our YouTube channel. Check out our videos and podcasts. Subscribe as well as join the journey. Push past your self-imposed limitations within the Gye-Nyame journey. Peace.
All right, the number that popped up during that break. And let me, hold on. I got to ring the bell. The teacher is in the house. Janice Raleigh is in the house. She's also known on Facebook as the teacher, and she's always dropping stuff. And every time I get an opportunity, I try to share it. And that's how we grow, family. That's how we grow. All right? So here we go. Somebody said number 3. We're going to start with 3. Excess of familiarity is at the root of all hostility. Oh, okay. Oh, Sister CeeLo remembers that Simba and Simsa experience. She remembered them Simpsons shouting out that "too beautiful." I can't. My voice ain't gonna get that high, right? But all right, here we go. Excess of familiarity is at the root of all hostility. Now, I want you to think about this, right? I want you to think about something that is very familiar to you. People. Let's go to people, because the hostility is usually towards another being, right? What they are saying is that the familiarity, when somebody feels that they know you, when somebody feels that they understand who and what you are, and they feel that you understand them, a lot of times, a lot of issues can rise up out of that. You know what I'm saying? Familiarity. You know, I'm so used to you being around. I'm so used to you being around. And that could cause hostility, because when I start taking advantage of that, when I start neglecting that, when I start losing the gratitude for that, it raises something up in the other person, which is the root of a lot of conflict, right? So, we covered one like this before. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and one of the things that we notice coming out of Africa is like, when we have to start treating each other in a way as if, like, for example, every time I see you, I see the divine. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? I salute the creator that dwells in you, so that you don't get too familiar with people, because sometimes that familiarity can start raising. You know what I'm saying? I've fallen out with people who kind of felt that I was a certain way, and I should react in a certain way. We know how. Some of y'all can understand what I'm saying. We've been in those situations where either we did it or other people did it to us, where they feel that it's a certain way and it should always be this certain way, and you're always going to be the same. And since you're always going to be the same, I can do whatever I want to do. And you have to check them. And in that checking is that conflict. But we have to realize also that relationships grow, because one of the things that conflict does, if it don't destroy you, you learn from it. If it don't destroy the relationship, you learn from it, right? But we could jump past that by learning how to see the divine within each other, and allow people to express who and what they are, so that you know whether or not you want to get that close to them, so that, you know what I'm saying, y'all can build together. Because everybody isn't designed for this work. Everybody isn't even designed to support you in this work, right? When we talk about us dealing as a people, we already know that many of our older friends, or many of our present day friends, many of our peers, many of our co-workers, they're not built for this. They have been fully indoctrinated, and some of them will never be able to accept the work that you're doing. Especially, I mean, because at the stage of nation building that we at, we're not building with blocks. We're not building with cement. We're building with people at this point in time. We still at the people stage. We haven't made it to building the actual physical institutions. The institutions we building right now are on relationships. And that could be draining, because other people is going to automatically assume that you're supposed to spend all your time with them. Like I work with teenage young ladies, and it's like, if I pay attention to any one of them too much, they start getting jealous. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And we in relationships with grown people like this. You know what I'm saying? I can't do what I do with certain friends or certain people around me. Why? Because it makes them feel uncomfortable. Right? When you start stretching yourself and you start moving beyond yourself, it's always going to cause a conflict. Why? Because people want you to stay where you are. Why? Because the way you are and where you are kind of helps justify other people's reality. And when you start moving beyond that, they get offended.
All right, guys.
Which causes what? Conflict. Because they're going to say something slick to you, and some people ain't even slick about it. They're going to come straight at you. You think you better than me.
Bedtime. Gina, Sasha.
Or you supposed to be doing this.
Let's go.
We all know that we run into people like this. And what we have to start doing, we have to really start evaluating our circle, because family, conflict is necessary. Let me say that again. Conflict is necessary. Why? Because the conflict allows us to learn about each other a little bit more deeply. You really get to find out what's on somebody's mind and what's on somebody's heart when they're upset. You know, because we all know we could dress up. You know what I'm saying? That's what dressing up is about. You know, I put on my suit and tie, and I could be dirty as hell. I could be stanky. You know what I'm saying? And still look good from a distance. Then when you get up on me, you get to know the physical aspect. Right? Familiarity breeds contempt. They fear you outgrowing them. And it's a terrible fear. Fear is a major, and thanks for that, CeeLo. Fear is a major limiter of our growth. It limits our growth in our relationships. I mean, because think about it, as black folks, we always try to avoid conflict, and we have always done that, right? Especially here. You know what I'm saying? Unless we got direct conflict with somebody else, because us being in conflict with other communities and other groups of people has always been detrimental for us. Always been detrimental. So we have developed a mind state where, hey, we need to avoid conflict. We need to avoid debates. We need to avoid making people feel uncomfortable. But we got to grow up past that. We got to move past that. Because some of the relationships that we maintain as a group with other people is no longer healthy. I'm just saying that right now. West Asians need to be uncomfortable. Politicians, when they come into our abodes, they need to feel uncomfortable. Because they have, think about this, they have become very familiar with us. And they think that they, as a group, they think that they know how we're going to vote. They think they know how to manipulate us. They think they know how to guide us. So we have to grow up and accept the conflict. Because that's how you get shit done. Every now and then, we need to have an argument. Every now and then, we need to fall out. Every now and then, we might need to take a break from each other so that we can know that we miss each other. But then we can start developing appreciation and a gratitude. A gratitude. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful every day that I turn this thing on and somebody's there. Right? And it's like, yo, and I love to engage in conversation. Why? Because you forced me to have to grow. You forced me to have to see different things. Sister Tiandra, who's on the phone line, challenged me because I made a statement about mumble rap. And basically the question was, how you going to be talking about nation building and the very music that the young people are listening to, you don't understand, nor do you have any tolerance to hear it. How are you going to reach them? God damn. She right. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Lick my wounds. And I said, damn, okay, I'm going to have to try some of this shit out. Might have found a song that I like. You know what I'm saying? Still don't understand what the hell they saying. But hell, I can start a conversation with it. I'm getting a little bit of better understanding of the music. You know what I'm saying? This is what the older people went with, many of us. In our generation, or those of you that are in my generation, they went through with us in rap. They totally isolated us because it's like, that's how you break dance. I had older people say, I ain't gonna deal with you. You break dancing, you rapping, you doing, all that shit is useless. It'll be gone, it's a fad. It'll be gone in 5 years. Shit, it's all, what, it's 30 years later? How old is hip hop now? You know what I'm saying? That shit is still popping. Still morphing, still changing. I heard a voice. Did you want to say something, Miss Tiandra?
No, I've been on mute.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was laughing and I'm listening intently, but now I'm on mute.
So, and I want y'all to know, family, when y'all say stuff to me, I'm listening. All right? I'm working on that. I'm trying to work on that in my home. I'm trying to work on, because this one right here, this proverb right here, excess of familiarity is at the root of hostility. Always remember that every being that you're dealing with is divine. So they're deeper than what you think you know. Even if you've been with them for years, there might be some stuff there that you might not recognize. And every
I guess I had some feedback. Sorry, I didn't let you.
Go. Hey, girl, it's your show. Go ahead. Ooh, I put the wrong number up.
When I first heard it, the proverb, I was thinking about assumptions. Right, so we assume that we know where people are coming from or how things should happen, and so that's part of what creates the hostility, because we assume. And today, in the current slang, it will be like, you thought you knew what was going on, or you thought it was like this, but it's not, because you were thinking and you thought it was a familiar place and you knew it was going to go down and happen. And so I just thought that was interesting. And then also, people we take things, sometimes we have to be intentional, not sometimes, but we should be intentional about not taking things personal. Because no two people are the same. We all are a summation of unique and dynamic and ever-evolving experiences and circumstances and situations and desires and all of that. And so it's never a familiar thing. As familiar and as comfortable as we tend to get, is exactly in that space where that hostility or that conflict will arise, which you said was necessary, which is because we thought that we knew what was going on, but everything's dynamic.
Everything's dynamic. And we have to understand that. We're not in the static universe, right? We're in a universe where order and chaos rolls, you know what I'm saying? They roll. It happens. Shit happens. And a lot of times we got to realize that. And we have to be able to kind of get over ourselves, because sometimes it's hard for us to hear that we're not all knowing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not you know what I'm saying? It's sort of like when you're talking to your child and you realize that your child is no longer a child. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody that was always younger than you, and you used to 5564535, and you used to be able to tell them You know what I'm saying? You used to be able to tell them about life and used to be able to advise them. And all of a sudden, you run into them a little bit later, and you know what I'm saying? They don't listen to you like that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, what happened? You used to. Yeah, I used to. You know what I'm saying? Sister, the teacher says, it's also spin on what Du Bois commented on. He lamented that poor people live in close proximity to other poor people, and all they see is each other's struggle. That experience does, in fact, result in contempt and even occasional self-hatred. Right? Because we become so familiar, but we don't even look at the deepness of the other people's lives. Because financially, they might be poor, but you go in the house and you might see something totally different, because many of us, we live the existence of, you know what I'm saying? We just above, some of us just above poverty. You know what I'm saying? We make it look good, but you come to my house and the wealth that you see is not with my mechanics or my TV, because I only allow one TV, and I don't allow TVs in my kids' room. But now they done beat me with this tablet shit. You know what I'm saying? But my wealth is in my bookshelf. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, I got some books. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, of course, I want to materially build some wealth so that I can have some actual things to pass on, you know, along with the books and stuff. That's why I put the books together, because it's legacy. It's about legacy. So in certain aspects, I may be lacking, but in other aspects, I may be rich. And if you don't know that about me, right, and you make a pure judgment on the old rusty ass car that I'm driving, you know what I'm saying? You feel you're familiar with me. And some of us have been in meetings where people might try to discuss things with us that they believe that we're interested in because we're black. You've been in those conversations. And you had to look at that motherfucker and say, I'm not into that. What the fuck you talking about? What TV show you get that shit off? You understand what I'm saying? And like I said, we have to be comfortable with making people feel uncomfortable around us. Let me say that again. We got to become comfortable with making people feel uncomfortable around us. I mean, because like I said, it's amazing that politicians come to our community and spout the same shit all the time and leave and do absolutely nothing and feel comfortable to come into one of our churches with over 5,000 members and spout that same shit and never get challenged. Why? Coming to the NAACP, spout that same shit, don't a goddamn thing change, and they able to walk away without being accosted. I ain't even talking about physically accosted. I'm talking about being challenged. And the people that will challenge them are the ones that usually are called the black sheep and might not even be invited back, might not be able to be allowed in. And we need to create those spaces where we can have those hard discussions. Because there's some reparations due, and we got, and it's gonna make a whole bunch of motherfuckers uncomfortable, even some of us. And we got to let them adjust their ties and sit up and I'll address that issue, and then when they try to group us in, we got to make them feel uncomfortable. Black people are not the only oppressed people in our society. But hold on, dog, don't group us in. We're talking about black people. Let's keep it centered. We're not everybody else. We're not talking about everybody else. We're talking about our needs. That makes people feel uncomfortable. That causes conflict. That causes discussion, which means that you're going to have to start sharpening your sword so that when you're having these conversations, you can feel comfortable within the conflict. Because remember, what is a warrior? One who is experienced or involved in conflict. So family, if we are ever going to get up out this position, Because it's the warriors that protect the society. It's the warriors that are the workers to build the goddamn thing in the first place. Which means that you always going to have to deal with conflict. Whether that conflict is with a sword, or that conflict is with information, or that conflict is with Facebook, or that conflict is with YouTube, or that conflict is with Spreaker, or that conflict, you know what I'm saying? We have to be able to use everything around us as a weapon in order to make sure that we're standing up for our people. Because nobody else will. All right, so now I'm moving on to the next one. Somebody give me another number. We did number 3. Which one should we do? You got a choice between 1 and 2. I'll give y'all a second. I got some music for that. Let's see. Oh, most of these songs are old. Oh, okay, let's do this. Y'all got a couple of seconds.
Minute by minute, hour by hour, you lose your history, you lose your power. Minute by minute, hour by hour, you lose your faith, you lose your power. If it is to be, it's up to me. I feel good about myself. I feel good about the people around me. I feel goodness all around me. And it will follow me for the rest of my life. Because I walk with good. And I talk with good. And I am good. And that feels real good. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Until your good is your better. And your better is your best. Black people, you were once great. You shall be great again. Lose not faith. Lose not courage. Go forward. Uplift the race. Harambe. Harambe. Harambe.
Nobody put up a number, man. What's going on? Put up the number. Number between 1 and 2. I mean, because I can guess what's on your mind. I
can go ahead. We might as well go ahead and go with 1 since there's a current event that's relevant.
Okay.
That might add to it.
In order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, everybody. Bill Cosby. Give it up for Bill Cosby, family. Give it up, Bill Cosby. There's a joke in this one for real. There's a joke in here, but I'm gonna respect my elders, and I'm gonna restrain from the joke because Lord, I know I could flip this motherfucker. Yeah. All right. I hope y'all put the kids to bed. All right. All right. So, in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. Now, we just talked about a little bit about fear in that last part. I mean, I just love how all this stuff comes together, right? It comes together. Fear, right? Fear. Your fear of, not just fear, but fear of failure. A lot of times, this is why I keep on, in the morning, we toast and we talk about the power of the now. See, because failure is always a future thing. I want y'all to think about this. Failure always happens in the future. Right now, if you're listening to me right now, you have successfully made it through the day, or if you're in a different part of the country, you have successfully, You have proof of success just by you being able to listen to this right now. And in many cases, when we start projects, we are fearing failure. Now, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all a little story. It ain't even a story. Let me tell you a fact of civilization. Let me tell you a fact of business. Let me tell you a fact of success. All three of those things are built on the back of failure. I like to say that the road to success is the road to success is built by the bricks made from the dust of your failures. I used to have brothers where we would have tapes and we only have a certain amount of time, a certain amount of money, and they wanted everything to be perfect because they wanted to put out a perfect product. And I'm like, fuck that. And I know some of y'all gonna be, oh, brother, I tell you. It's because you're actually fearing failure. You're actually fearing somebody seeing you as a failure because there might be a mistake. I don't put that shit out. If you listen, here's a crazy story. If you listen to that minute by minute pledge that just went on, right? We had a budget to do this. This was over 20 years. We had a small budget to do this. We had a whole bunch of artists. We finally got everybody together. We got the studio time. We had a certain period of time where we was going to be able to get everybody in and get out so that we could meet the budget. And the last thing we was going to do, because we did it all the time, was this pledge, the African pledge and minute by minute. Everybody knew what they were supposed to do. All you got to do is repeat, right? So we start doing it. And if you listen close, either it's minute by minute or it's the African pledge. If you listen, you'll hear somebody's beeper go off in the middle of it. And we started to debate on whether we was going to take the last bit of time because some people had to come in and finish up their stuff. And we knew that if we was to work on this, we had to make the decision. Either we was going to let other people come in and finish their songs, finish mastering the songs, or we was going to take the time and invest. I said, man, fuck that. Leave the people alone. It'll be something we can laugh about in the future, blah, 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 and we move forward. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's in those little small failures, man. It's in the failures that we get the lessons. But many of us are fearing it because we scared of what people going to think about us. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, in order for me to start doing this, I had to stop giving a fuck whether people came or not. And I don't mean that I want you to go, but the issue was, if I wouldn't have never started 7, 8 years ago, right? I mean, I want you to understand this, family. I've been talking to myself for 7 or 8 years. I'm telling you right now, this is causing conflicts in my relationship. And now my wife is starting to see some of the stuff and being like, well, damn, maybe he ain't all the way crazy. Right? When I start getting up early in the morning doing shows. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the second show that I would get up and I did the last one. It's called Give Yourself Permission. You can find it on Spreaker right now. Every morning I would get up and I would run. And after I ran, I would have thoughts going through my head and I would spew them out. Right? And I was doing that show. And the piece that I'm saying is I couldn't fear the fact that nobody would hear. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, boom, I'm doing it for something bigger. It's like, boom, when you have, the only reason a lot of us feel failure because we're doing it for us. We got to move the ego out the way and start looking at, look, I'm doing this school. I'm doing this work in this school. I'm doing this work in the community. I'm doing this work at such and such for a higher purpose. When I had the vision about the ancestors talking to me, and the ancestor told me that they couldn't help us because they were starving, I knew I had to do something. And my fear of failure was definitely outweighed by the need of my ancestors to be fed. I don't know if y'all can feel that, right? My need for sleep is outweighed by the fact that my ancestors need to hear from me. We often put failure up there and go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just affirming you that yes, you can feel that grateful, Ashe.
Because of the family, it's incredible. It's incredible how many of us and how many people around us are stopping themselves out of fear of failure. The successes don't even outweigh. And I'm just saying, hell, you ain't got to think about success. I'm saying think about what you are doing it for. Your why. Right? See, because in history, family, I want y'all to think about this. We often get caught up in whether we talking about religious history or actual history, we get caught up in the hows and the whats and the whens. I got off of that shit a long time ago. I need to know the whys and the hows. I ask the why and the how. The when, I ain't even care. The what, I don't. The how and the why. Because those push me. The wins, it don't inspire me. It makes no difference to me that 2,500 years ago, 5,000 years ago, such and such happened. What I need to know is how and why. Better yet, why and how. That motivates me. You know what I'm saying? So when I start doing shows and I start writing books, it's how and why. I don't care about the grammatic structure. It's the pieces. If some people can understand what I'm saying, that's all I need. That's all I need. Because the next person that come after me that might be inspired by me may write a classic. Shout me out. You understand what I'm saying? We fear the wrong things, family. Right? You know, I had a fear of death. And I thought about it one time. I said, well, I need to change this thought process. So I had to come up. How do I overcome that? And why should I overcome the fear of death? I faced it so many times. So I sat down and wrote the poem about death. Changed my perspective. I have a love affair with death. She comforts me. She visits me nightly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, boom, all right, boom. We had the power to do that. It's about us. It's about us putting the proper perspective on it, family. Listen to me. Your success is not your own. Your success is not your own.
Why?
It belongs to the community. So yeah, you're going to stumble. Yeah, you're going to fall, but that's not failure. That's feedback. Remember your science class. That's not failure. That's feedback. And use it to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself to where you need to be. So I hope I got that one. All right. So now the only one left is number 2. Let's hit it. All growth is a leap in the dark, a spontaneous, unpremeditated act without the benefit of experience. All growth is a leap into the dark. Even if you have it all the way mapped out, when you're going into a new area, a new territory, into a new state, even if somebody has been there before and they told you, in many cases, you're leaping in the dark. And since most of us are afraid of the dark and we don't like to admit it, I tell my kids all the time, I'm scared of the dark. My daughter says she's scared of the dark. I say, you too? Oh, you scared of the dark too? Yeah, I'm scared of the dark. That's why I don't walk with flashlights when I'm at camp. Because I'm training myself. I'm throwing myself into what scares me. I don't know what be out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if a raccoon gonna run across my damn foot. I don't know if it's a bear out there. I got to face that. And I got to get comfortable with not being in a position where I'm able to predict things, because if I'm able to predict the things, this means I have experienced the things. And if I have experienced the things, then I'm in a place where I'm going to continue getting what I've been getting until I'm able to step into a place where I'm uncomfortable that I have never experienced before. I won't grow. So all growth is a leap in the dark, a spontaneous, unpremeditated act without the benefit of experience. You know what I'm saying? If you have experienced it, it's not growth. Oh, you always wonder why I walk through the cave? Yeah, man, I'm scared as hell of the dark. Listen to me. You know what I'm saying? And it took me years to get to a point where I was able to, you know what I'm saying? I said, I'm going to have to do this. Let me die. Boom. You know, that and sneaking up on young people, because at one point in time, Simba Count was a lot different. You know what I'm saying? We get a lot of good kids. It was a time in Simba where Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to creep up on them, and people looked at me as that one. So not only did I have to do it for me, I had to do it for the nation. Oh, hell no. CeeLo going to have a flashlight. Well, we got a camping trip coming up. Bring your flashlight, bring your mattress, bring Renee. We going out. And we're going to have a good old time, right? So all growth is a leap in the dark, a spontaneous, unpremeditated act without the benefit of experience. See, because like, for example, when I did my unblacher, I had plenty of people around me that did it before. They could tell me everything that's going to happen. They could tell me what would be going through my mind. They could tell me how my body would feel when I'm hungry or when I was thirsty. They could tell me how lonely I was going to get. But until I experienced it, it was just dark. Now, I was prepared because they had gave me certain ways, but I had to leap into the dark and do it. And I don't think we have enough of that for our children. We always want them to always be successful. I expect excellence out of you. You know what I'm saying? That's a box that we put our children in. I expect excellence out of you in something that I'm not vaguely interested in. Damn. Your mom, you don't do your best, and you know I'll be hungry around this motherfucker, and you throw some shit in the microwave. Dad, my bike broke down. You took it to the shop. You know, I'm expecting excellence. The shingles on the roof falling off. One of y'all gonna, you know what I'm saying? You need to learn to adapt your eyes to the dark, Miss Lowe. You know who that is? That's Brother Anubis out there. And there's a certain way you walk out there too. There's a certain way you walk, and there's a certain stance that you take. Especially when you're running through the woods. Because I used to have, when we was out in Iowa, I used to have to run out in those woods. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be able to take a flashlight. And I had to stay on the path because there was a certain point where we would be going up a big hill, and if I stepped off, I'd be really messed up. So I had to figure out how to do that and run through it and lead other people through it without them getting hurt. And then, for the most part, I did pretty good, I think. But family, I want to thank you for tuning in. We have been on for, let's see, we've been on for 57 minutes. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Shouts out to Miss Tiandra. Shouts out to whoever is popping in and out on YouTube. Shouts out to whoever's listening on Spreaker. Shouts out to CeeLo. Shouts out to Miss Heather. Shouts out to the teacher, Miss Janice Raleigh. Shouts out, who else out there? Somebody out there. Some of y'all ain't showing up. I just want to send shouts out to you. I thank y'all. Listen, like and share on Brother Anubis. Cool. We gonna, you know, I mean, I'm good. I ain't gonna say I'm good at writing, but I ain't scared. Scared to write no goddamn script, right? I got a small movie right now, right? You know, it's called the Tales of G. You know what I'm saying? One of the stories that all my kids learn. All the people that come into Gye-Nyame, they got to learn that. But family, I want to thank you for tuning in, and you need to remember, like, share this. We need to share. We need to grow, and you know, and because y'all got to remember, if y'all don't share, if y'all don't like, it don't grow at all. They won't even put it on the algorithm. So we'll just be sitting on Gye-Nyame Journey and just be us. All right? So I need to remind you, are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. This is the Heart of a Summer production, and we have just completed day 28 of Tribal Quotes. And it's a Heart of a Summer production. Anubis asks, who else in the group is good at writing? I ain't gonna speak for nobody, but we got some riders up in here. You know what I'm saying? And we got some researchers up in here too. One of the things we're working on after this Malcolm X Festival is starting a e-newsletter so that we can make sure we keep people up on what's going on in our different communities where we exist, as well as giving them some good information, right? So, when we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Peace, family. I love y'all. Peace, power, and joy. In 100 years, Brother Jim is out.